Okay, so you're doing content, but it's not quite going the way you want it, or you're getting ready to get started to do content, your social media content, and you want to make sure that you're doing it quite right, that you're on the steps. So that's why you've come across this video, to knowing the things you need to do as far as content goes, or you're just struggling. We're going to cover that. So in today's video, I want to talk about the top 5 things you need to do now for your social media content to grow your business this year. So first, the way you can help me create more videos that help, I need you to please like this video, and I also need you to subscribe. That would definitely help me help more people like you to grow their business, to get more information out there. My name is Lutalo K. I'm a social media strategist, so it is just my intent and my hope to help anyone that's wanting to grow their business, specifically on the marketing side, because I think marketing is just one of the most important things when it comes to business. So out of all that, let's get into it. So the number one thing that you need to really focus on is knowing your audience. Know who your target is. Content doesn't even matter if you don't have a focused audience. And the concept of wanting to help everybody, and that might be the case. You might be able to help anybody and everybody. But when you're looking at social media and wanting to be effective, you want to get specific. Whether you're helping business owners or non-business owners, where you're helping people in their 20s, helping people in their 60s, knowing the age that's going to make a difference, knowing the demographic, knowing the type of music, maybe what type of finance they have, what type of income, what's their life situation. So really understanding who your target is going to make a big difference before we can really get into the content and the type of content that's going to make a difference for you for this year. Is really getting a good understanding. And just going from a general aspect, if you know some things or some specific things when it comes to your target, that's just going to make a huge difference when it comes to what type of content you want to create. So just think about it. Location, age demographic. Just putting an example out there, just keep in mind someone in their 20s may not be in the same situation as someone in their 60s. Someone who, say you're in real estate, someone who already owns a home, is going to be a different position from a first-time buyer. Someone who might be in a home and downsizing. Someone who, makes $20,000 a year versus $100,000 a year. So if you don't have a specific demographic, I just want to put that in your head to really sit down and think about, maybe think about who you've worked with in the past or who you like to work with, but come up with that target that's going to make a difference. And I do have a video on that, and you could go through that talks about target market, or I might put a link up here for you to look at that. So if you want to know about your target audience, that's going to make a difference. So that's number one. Number two, your content should solve a problem. So creating videos and graphics that solves the problem. So first, remember, understanding who your target demographic is, and then knowing their pain points. I was talking to someone today. I was at a meeting today, and someone talked about all the great benefits and the features of their business. And I could kind of pull them to the side. I was like, hey, can I give you some suggestions? And it was kind of funny because the person sitting next to them, she actually gave pain points about her business. She was a massage therapist, and she talked about, if you're experiencing arthritis, if you're experiencing pains with your joints, and sometimes leading with pain is a good way for people to think about, I feel that. I understand that. I know somebody that's feeling that. Like, we're sometimes, even as humans, we're more prone to talk about pain than we are to talk about like good stuff or feeling good. And so think about your demographic and what problem can you help them solve. If they're experiencing something within your industry, think about what problem you can help them solve. And if you help them solve that problem with your content, that's going to bring you closer. That's going to bring more trust to you with your content. You want to build trust online. Keep in mind, people come across your content, they come across your page, your social media page, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, whatever platform. They don't know who you are. If you're trying to attract people that you don't know, I'll even say sometimes when you're attracting or you meet someone for the first time and they may go back to your social media just to check you out, that's still a good way and a good reference to say, hey, you know what? There's content that's been built or you've talked about, And you know what? You've talked about a problem that they have, and you've got a solution. So you really want to think about your, problem to solution, solving a problem. The next thing is suggestions and advice. And you may say, the problems and solutions kind of stem to that, but just giving tips. Just, hey, things you want to consider before buying insurance, things you want to consider before buying a house. That might not be a problem to solution, but it might be just tips or suggestions, some things that someone may not have thought about that you bring up and you say, you know what, here's some things. Maybe there's a checklist of things. If you're wanting to buy your next house, this is a position you need to be in. So you're giving, as a real estate agent, you're giving suggestions or tips on a person for someone to think about. If you're, say, you're in construction and you're looking for people that are wanting to renovate, maybe, there's some things that they should look at before they consider talking to a contractor, some things they should know. So giving tips or suggestions and advice is something that's really good, just great content that you could put out there. People gravitate that. Keep in mind, YouTube, making reference to YouTube. YouTube is the second largest search engine. So if your content is out there and it's set up to be searched, that's something important. If you're putting advice and tips, people are looking for that. So that's going to be a great thing for you to have good content as far as tips and suggestions. One of my favorite things, one thing that's important, I actually personally need to step up, but I do have these out here, and that is client testimonials. Client testimonials are just really important. If you have had clients and customers that appreciate your service, get that on video, get that in writing. It could be something as simple as a picture, and maybe you go in Canva or Adobe and you have their picture and you have a statement that they've made next to it and you post that. That's great content. They give you permission to do that. Another thing is that testimonial being in a video format. Definitely catching. If you've got customers that appreciate your service and they're excited about how you've helped them, get that on video. Definitely, you want to get that on video and set that up. If it's Sue, and Sue is a grandmother of 4, you want to make sure you have that her name. It doesn't necessarily have to be first and last name. If they feel comfortable with that's fine. Sometimes testimonials are good, especially if you work with other business owners. That's a good way for them to promote their business. So if it's Sue Jones, but if Sue doesn't feel comfortable saying her last name, just first name, at least that first name. You want to say the first name, that's a part of connection. And then their title or their occupation. So like I said, grandmother of 4, or if they're a teacher, an engineer, an attorney, that title, that occupation is another form of connection. And then lastly, the story. How, you've helped them, how there's been an impact, how your business or your product or service has been a benefit from them. Maybe that going back to pain, maybe that pain to pleasure, or that problem to solution. That should be a part of that testimonial. So video testimonials are awesome content, great content. It just shows that that's going to be something that's going to definitely help, and it shows that you have that social proof. So a video testimonial. So last thing but not least, consistent. Make sure that when you're building that content, that you're posting it consistently, that you're creating it consistently, and that you're posting it consistently. You want to make sure that you're posting that content consistently. Consistently can mean once a week. If that's all you can handle is once a week, at least that once a week, but make sure that you're sticking it. If it's going to be every Tuesday, make sure that every Tuesday that you're posting that content and you're posting that content consistently every Tuesday. If you're going to do it twice a week, stick to it. Don't just start and then you miss a couple weeks and you get back to it. That's just, if there are people following you, you're gonna miss out on that. So you just want to make sure that you're consistent and you're consistent with your posting. So that's that number 5. So tell me, what do you think? What are you doing for content? Are there some things that are you doing that you want to make sure that you're creating that good content? Put in the comments. Let me know, what are your thoughts when it comes to content creation and building good content to grow your business for this year? Also, if you're looking for more videos to help you grow your business, to help you with marketing, with social media, with network, definitely check out my other videos.